Kustoff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Madam Chair, for appearing this morning. In the next hour or so, when this hearing ends, if you were to receive a call from the President telling you that he intended to nominate you for another term, would you accept?
It's something that hasn't been an issue so far. It's not been something that's come up, but I would certainly something that I would discuss with the President, obviously.
Thank you. And yesterday, when I asked you about comments that Jamie Dimon made as it relates to assets coming off your books, you've stated here today, and you've stated in previous reports, that the Fed does intend to reduce its assets at the balance sheet, the assets off the balance sheet. I would like to ask you first, before I ask you about Mr. Dimon, if you could address the timing of when those assets will come off the books, the amounts, and procedurally how that will be done.
Yes, so we've tried to set out a relatively complete plan. Our assets currently total close to $4.5 trillion, consisting of roughly $2.5 trillion of treasuries and 1.7 of mortgage-backed securities. We've said that we intend to shrink our balance sheet, and particularly the outstanding quantity of reserves in the banking system, which are now around $2.2 trillion, in a gradual and predictable way. And we have said that what we intend to do is, once we begin this, as we receive principal payments on treasuries and the agency's securities in our portfolio, currently we're reinvesting all of those principal payments. We will begin to diminish our reinvestments and only reinvest to the extent that our monthly receipt of principal exceeds a cap. The cap will initially start at low levels, $6 billion a month for treasuries and $4 billion a month for mortgage-backed securities, and over the space of a year will ramp up to $20 billion for mortgage-backed securities and $30 billion for treasuries. So after a year of this process running, the caps will remain in place, but bind only infrequently when there are unusually large redemptions of principal that take place. And we've not decided yet on what our longer-run monetary policy framework will be and what quantity of reserves that will entail our supplying to the banking system. We expect it to be substantially larger than pre-crisis, but substantially less than we have now. And I would say this process will play out probably to around 2022, when our balance sheet would probably somewhere in that range shrink to normal levels. Now, currency, since the crisis, currency has more than doubled in quantity, from about $700 billion to $1.5 trillion now. So our balance sheet will end up substantially larger than it was before the crisis, but appreciably lower than it is now. And then over time, when this process is complete, if currency in circulation continues to grow, our balance sheet would likely grow in line with the overall economy.
I think you probably saw the comments yesterday from Jamie Dimon, chairman of J.P. Morgan Chase, about his concerns about assets being moved off the balance sheet. Do you share those concerns?
Well, we've tried to be very methodical about informing the public and the markets about how we're going to do this. We've provided essentially complete information. We've not heard significant concerns or seen a significant market reaction. So we've indicated we expect to begin this if the economy stays on track this year. I expect and certainly hope that this will go smoothly, and it will be a gradual and orderly process, one that we will not be revisiting on a regular basis. It's something that we will run. It'll be understood and play out over time. So obviously we will watch what the market impacts of this are when we put it into effect, but I expect this to play out smoothly.